Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jesse, your DM.
Cody playing Lazarus.
Brennan playing Dis.
Mike playing Nim.
Britt playing Kenna.
And we are Double Doubles and Dragons. We're a group of goofy Canadians that have gotten together to play a little D&D. Sometimes we will say things that are inoffensive. We mean them as jokes, of course, and they're certainly funny to us, but some people may find this offensive. If you do, we apologize, but we don't want any hate mail about it. So just don't listen, okay? Let's jump right into the action. All right, guys, welcome back. Everybody just say something for a second so I make sure that the mics are recording good.
Hello.
Okay, looks more or less good. Just
I think
have adjust
it's
mine
really
here a
relax
little.
and lean back and...
We can
No,
slide
like I
this
said,
down.
move the mic that way a bit.
Yeah, we'll slide that there.
Alright.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of a cover-off about what happened last time. I will start with the basic stuff. We did have somebody use inspiration last sessions, so I will remind everybody that Nim and Lazarus have an inspiration. I mean, we are on downtime, so time runs a little differently right now, but Dis and Kenna, anything you guys did the last couple of sessions you think maybe you can
I realize
squeeze
I can
something
look
out
at
of me?
I realize I can look at feet.
Yes.
Okay.
He forgot that he could learn a language.
I mean, that's very true. I don't know.
I haven't had a reason
know
to
if
use it
that's-
in so long, so I think that
He did go all the way to let them see his face and throw him in a pit to get information.
You did.
I didn't
That's
start.
true.
I didn't start looking for that is true as well, but I also didn't start looking for thieves' cant until I started to get suspicions about the Stronghold.
I mean, you know what? I'll give you this. Definitely I'll give you the inspiration, for nothing else, for going all the way on trying to capture some information there from the sergeant and getting, the captain and getting tossed into the pit. I mean, that's pretty, pretty in on that. I guess, Kenna, anything you can think of?
Pretty unremarkable.
Huh?
I put out a fire,
Okay.
but that's very
Yeah,
that's what I would do anyways.
Okay. I mean, if you don't think so, I'm certainly not going to argue with you. So we'll leave it then with everybody has inspiration except Kenna for now. In terms of what happened last session, there was a fair bit of stuff that went down, but I kind of wanted to highlight a couple of key things. The first, Lazarus is still waiting on Philly to kind of set up her shop, so we know that's coming. Dis, you had scribed onto Phelan's building a quick who used to live here / this person's really shady. Does anybody know anything about it? Definitely wanted to highlight those so you guys don't forget. I did listen to our last episode earlier this morning just to kind of catch myself back up to where we were. We do also have, obviously, we have two people who are now going to go talk to the Thieves Guild. They have a little gnome that has led them through a small red door under a staircase, and we're going to see where that goes.
We did that.
That's
Nim,
what you're doing right now.
where were you at this particular moment? I know the last episode we had you were off doing something else.
The last thing Nim really did specifically, I think, was do the search of Phelan's basement.
Right.
So probably while they were off doing their thing, he's probably just cleaning clothes.
Okay. Yeah, I think we did talk about that. And Lazarus, you've just been kind of saying you're working on the church, you're trying to get those supply lines nailed down that people are using.
Still helping out the church to get that honest people rapport and then doing the routes and stuff for merchants and everything.
Okay. I think that sounds good then. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up that they want to remind people of for this episode to make sure you check up on it? I kind of did that for Dis already.
I mean, we do need to have a party talk about people being thrown into a pit and stuff like that. But
Party talk.
Remember, there was weird feelings about the pits and teleporting out.
That's a good thing to keep in mind.
Like, I was stuck in Jello.
Didn't we briefly discuss that?
I think we talked as a party, but
Yeah.
pretty
But-
sure everybody knows. But yeah, consequences of that are...
Definitely still something to be aware of.
it'd be spooky if it was something that recorded, whose ring triggered it from inside that pit.
Oh, that'd be rough.
I'm going to scratch the VIN number up.
Stupid ring. He's hammering at it on his hand.
So he kids find some etching acid.
You could probably find that. Okay, we will leave it at that then, and we will jump back in. So obviously, we know you guys are dealing with the Thieves Guild, but for now, Lazarus and Nim, is there anything that you would like to get done kind of right away today? I'm kind of giving you the opportunity to go first, if you like. We've still got... What do we got here? I know Nim wanted to look into some more stuff. Just about like what's going on in town and stuff like that, but nothing too specific. I know you still want to try to get to the library if you can try to squeeze that in somewhere. You'll have to, I suspect, maybe use some of your laundry connections to try to make something like that work. And I know, Lazarus, we've still got you wanting to maybe talk to the guards about changing out your tunnel fighter for a more defensive one. I think we kind of already talked about you've probably already started that, at least a little bit. Between the two of you, you and Nim both have enough guardsman connections to make that work. But yeah, anything you guys want to get done right away? If not, we'll jump into Kenna and Dis with the Thieves Guild.
I think Nim right now, like, other than like the information he's looking for and things like that, I think he would just try to promote the business a little more, since it's like pretty central and like the guards have taken hold of it, so he'd probably just try to like... And I think Alex said he's been promoting the business as well, so...
Yeah, as long as you gave him a cut.
We gave him 3%, I believe.
Yeah, 3% of your profits, as long as he keeps bringing people in. Actually, for an update on that, because it's been roughly a week since he said that with the time acceleration we're doing for downtime activities, it definitely, you've noticed an uptick in business since he made the offer. So whatever he's doing is definitely working.
Okay. Is it to the point where we would need like a second staff member, or is it...
Not at this point. Honestly, the biggest bottleneck is literally the cleaning itself, because you're really the only one that has the spell to do it. You can process a lot of clothes at one time, since you can basically cast, your prestidigitation about every 6 seconds, but you do have to find time to be there these days.
Well, and it's like, if they're all in a pile, he can do a cubic foot at a time,
yeah,
which is
so you
quite a bit of clothing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like a load of laundry.
Yeah, you definitely would have originally started doing it clothes piece by clothes piece, but since the volume's gone up, I definitely think Nim's probably set up a system to kind of cube up the clothes as best he can, and then hit him with
He's
as
got
many
little,
as he
like,
can do.
cubic foot, like, laundry hampers that he puts them in.
Yeah, you've got like a crate.
Just
You
wooden
just like
crate.
squeeze it on top of them first.
Put a
to get
weight
everything
down
in there.
and then
Pow! And then you pull them all out.
Yeah. And then we, like, sort them by what scent they're going for.
Yeah, exactly, because Kenna's, of course, got to do her stuff.
Yep.
All right, well, as long as you guys are good with that, then we will pick back up with the Thieves Guild. So a quick reminder for Nim and Kenna. You guys had gone into the Broken Bucket looking for some, I believe Dis's exact words were, find me the most suspicious motherfucker in the room. You found Big Bob, and he was a pretty suspicious-looking individual, and you tried to talk to him a little bit to only bear success. And then you were followed by a little gnome who kind of came up under the table underneath Dis there and got his attention, and has since kind of led you into this side door underneath the set of stairs. I believe the original pretense you were on here was what? You said you had something to sell.
fencing from Ground Zero.
Yeah.
What was the
No
lie again?
supplies.
Supplies from the Ground Zero site.
Was that what I was trying to... God
It was
damn
not
it. So-
fencing. It was like,
Oh, that's fancy.
Fencing is selling of stolen goods.
oh,
Yeah.
never heard that term.
You don't play enough Skyrim.
I don't like.
You obviously haven't been to the
Sorry, guys,
live.
I'm not nerdy enough.
Or
It's
thieving.
fine.
Yeah, that's quite fun.
And I
Sorry,
don't
I just-
usually go thieves guilds when I do things.
Fair enough. There. Don't worry,
I feel better when it's kind of like...
don't worry, I'm an
Where
expert
you
in
can see
thieving.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, I'm just there because I'm the skirt.
Yeah, but
Kenna
have
gives
you...
herself so little credit. She didn't think she was worthy of an inspiration. She only thinks she's here to be the skirt. We're going to have to give Kenna a little sub-arc of discovering her worth. I'll start writing something.
Don't worry, I'll get you an inspiration.
He'll do something really stupid so that you're forced to do something inspiring.
Just turn into a giant goat and ram some people again.
No, you just need this to yell out, "Look, a new performance by Surf and Turf!"
Oh,
No, I don't like name art. What? No.
Don't worry, I got this.
There's enough heat on us.
Okay. Bringing us back on track a little. The door opens, and the little gnome ushers you both inside. You both have to duck fairly significantly to make it inside.
How tall is the door?
It's only about, 2.5 feet.
So we're crawling.
Yeah.
Pretty
When-
offensive.
When you get through the doorway, you're in a small hallway that's only about the size of the door. So you have to continue to crawl. Almost like how big movies think all air ducts are.
Okay.
Crawlable. Which they're definitely not. But this one is.
To make some joke about a TV dinner going through.
And at the very end of this little hallway, it widens out a little, but doesn't get any taller. And you see another little door, and it's kind of got a little divider next to it, and then there's another little door. There's 2 little doors. The little gnome you're with goes, "All right. If you want to talk, you go into the left door. And you get to talk to our representative."
What about the other door?
Well, that's the door the representative goes in.
So it's like some sort of I'm confessing my sins type of deal here?
Well, aren't you?
Good point. Alright, I want to
Go on then. Don't be shy.
I will crawl over to the left door.
Oh, you're gonna go in. That's good. I'll stay here with this one.
I look back.
You could both probably fit in there if you're feeling a little tight. I'm not sure how friendly you are, though.
Oh, we're real friendly.
Well, then if you like.
Settle on in here again. Just trying to fit through the door.
So you open the door, and he may have been lying. There's this tiny little half bench, and I mean, if both of you get in there, somebody's sitting on somebody's lap. That's definitely for sure.
How
There's-
high is it?
Only about 3 feet high.
Ooh.
So when we open the door, I just want to whisper to Dis, I could change into something and just sit on your lap that way, and then if you really need me, I can unform.
It's just not a bad idea. That way, if I get trapped down here, I could be like, "Run, squirrel, Kenna."
So we're going with the squirrel?
I always like the squirrel.
Are you guys just talking about this out in the
No,
open?
I said I was whispering
Okay.
to him.
I was
Roll
whispering as well as
stealth.
Dis.
I mean, you are in the Thieves Guild to a certain degree.
Fair.
I feel like Kenna should get advantage on her stealth roll because Dis's voice is probably just louder and covers up a lot.
I suppose that's fair, but then you'd be giving yourself disadvantage.
Or to have regular because I'm stealthy and I know which way to kind of look to avoid the talk, so I'm just regular and then...
If you're trying to cover her voice with your own, you by that nature have to be louder than you would normally be.
Fair. Well, not necessarily. I think some voices overlap. If me and Cody are talking at the same time and Cody's not trying to, throw
That's
his voice,
true.
it's
That's
I'll
true.
generally cover it up because I just talk a bit louder.
All right. I'll let Kenna have the advantage, and we'll keep Dis at normal.
Well played.
We'll say he's got some skill in this.
That helped a lot.
Yes! Alright. Please. Karma, my old friend.
Hello, Karma, my
I use...
friend. Here's
No, not yet. It's not working.
All right. What were your rolls?
13.
Okay.
20.
Okay. You can continue your conversation. I just wanted to have a rough idea of what, if anybody happened to be listening, they might hear.
Alright, so yeah, you squirrel it up, or whatever small creature.
Mouse.
Mouse. Alright, that works.
Okay. But I'll go ahead and... Oh, but we probably... Which order are we in this hallway?
Dis went first. Kenna went second, and the gnome brought up the rear.
Well, guess I'm crawling on your lap.
Alright, let's do this.
Okay.
And
You
so
guys get
once
into the
we're
door?
inside and the door's closed, so I'll be sitting on this lap as a human first. I'll turn into a mouse.
Okay. You guys
Wait,
squeeze
before
in.
I turn into a mouse, I
Mhm.
give him the sign that 1 tap is yes and 2 taps is no.
Okay, sounds good. You get in. For a brief moment, Kenna's ass sits upon Dis's lap. And it is a 20 out of 20 ass. So, I mean, Dis smiles. Then she turns into a mouse. It's a 20 out of 20 mouse, but it's still a mouse.
Look how cute you are, what the hell?
Just as you settle in, there's a sliding, grating sound as a little chute to your left opens. From inside you hear, "Hello, my child. You've come to confess some sins?"
Yes. I want to do a history check, I guess, and see if I recognize this voice.
Go ahead.
This is where it all comes together.
Believe in you.
With my +1 history. 6.
I should
At
have done it.
first, like Dis is sitting there and he's like, "Wait, I know this voice. Father Maxie." And then he thinks about it for like 2 seconds. He's like, "No, wait, he just called me my son, and that's what Father Maxie does." Their voices actually don't really sound all that similar.
Yes, I have a sin to confess. I have sticky fingers, and I take all the things. And I have found some inside information on a certain pit closer to the death zone. Just tossing out terms I realize I've made up the whole time.
That's very interesting, my son. Having sticky fingers is a serious sin, but no more serious than the sin of lying to a father. I have not heard much about you pilfering materials since your time in the Stronghold.
Well, I don't want to brag, but that may have been by design.
This is, of course, always an option. Very well. Tell me of what you have stolen that you wish for us to absolve you of.
Well, starting at the forefront of my sins, I believe I've stolen the lives of many people. Some of which deserved it, some of which didn't.
This is
I-
most...
2 tap on his leg.
But mostly those who deserved it.
This is most
Thumbs up,
interesting.
Kenna.
What exactly are you trying to sell yourself as here?
This is most interesting, my child. I was given to believe you had come to absolve yourself of thieving sins, but it sounds like perhaps you would be better suited at some sort of church more readily able to absolve death-type sins.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that the Lord above knew of the thievery of people's lives. I call that the biggest form of theft. It's not something I'm proud of, and it's not something I'd like to repeat. But I feel slightly more close to God. I don't laugh.
You need not fear. God does see everything that happens in the strongholds. It is interesting that you've brought this information to our attention, but please, continue with the sins you would like our denomination to specifically absolve you of.
So yes, theft. Theft of knowledge that couldn't be procured without moving past areas which are quarantined.
Ah, so your first sin is sneaking into a place you did not belong.
Correct.
This is a serious charge, and did you learn things here you shouldn't have?
Yes, things I don't believe they wish others to know.
But you believe this knowledge has value.
I do.
I see. Well, I don't want you to feel like there's no hope, my son, but I'm afraid I will need to better understand what secret knowledge you believe you have before I can tell you how serious it is and how much it will take to absolve.
And I'd love to tell you all about it, but unfortunately my throat is feeling a little bit parched, and it feels like the only thing that could hydrate something like this is maybe a favor by you. Wink.
You're winking at the grave.
Wink. The line was just too much.
Interesting. Well, you'll forgive me, my child, but I do not know you outside of rumors that I have heard among my congregation. So I'm afraid before I could possibly offer you some sort of God's favor, that I would first need to know how dedicated you are to the Lord's cause. Perhaps a test of your faith would prove sufficient.
What form would this test take?
Well, it appears that you have indicated that you are somewhat accustomed to taking things that don't belong to you or going places you shouldn't be. So perhaps that, allowing you to reflect on such a task with God in your heart and penance in your soul would be appropriate. Do you believe you could do this, my son?
Oh, I believe I could, yes.
Very well, then.
I'm, as I say that, I suppose I look down at little mouse Kenna. And I
Okay.
give her a little questioning look, like,
Stand on my hind legs and I go,
Just the little mouse shrug.
I don't know what's going on.
Very well, then. There is a certain property in the northwest area of the Stronghold, just outside the blast radius, where a certain man lives. This certain man, it's not particularly important to you who he is or what he does, but what is important to you is that inside his kitchen, in his pantry, just behind where he keeps his flour, is a document of great importance. We would like this document for our church. It contains many words that we would find holy and sacred. If you can procure this for us, perhaps you could join our denomination after all.
That's your own fault.
so that was in the kitchen, in the pantry, behind the flour.
Sacred document.
Now, my
There.
son, I don't presume to tell you how to do the things that you claim you are well-versed in doing, but I will warn you this gentleman is wealthy of a certain kind, and a certain kind of wealth breeds a certain kind of paranoia.
Traps. Traps is what you're telling me.
Perhaps. I could not say. The Lord will guide you, I'm sure.
Can you give me any more information on this man's name?
Certainly not. But if you wish to acquire more information about an individual who, in all likelihood, you should never have to meet if you do your job well, you can feel free to inquire about that information through whatever channels one would normally use. Though I should hate to think that a man with such paranoia would hear about people asking about him in the village. But that choice is up to you.
Well then, this man's location or his property, is there any special things about the way it looks, something that distinguishes it from the other residences?
You fear you will be unable to find the place with which God has sent you. Fear not, my child. It is a very easy building to spot. You will know it well by its bright red trim and the 4 armed guards stationed out front.
All right.
You can't miss it.
It's gonna be like the new building going up in the city.
No, they said outside the blast radius.
Northwest.
Yeah, it'd be funny. But here, go to this impossible place.
All right. I do understand that the sacred scriptures belong with those who would worship them. I will help you find this.
I'm tapping his leg.
Okay, Ken is tapping and trying to get your attention.
I look down at Kenna.
She's attempting to mouse mime something at you. But not giving you any help.
First word.
What? All right.
This is a lot of miming being done with mouse hands.
I'm trying to make my hands even small themselves.
And I hesitate to bring this up, but as a man of... God, how do I fucking word this? What god do you worship? Too late.
My son...
I failed it.
What church are we working for?
My son,
Close
such
enough.
information I believe you will find in your own heart, should you follow the word of the Lord long enough.
Fair enough.
Very well then, I believe you have a task to accomplish. You may take you and your strangely attractive lady who can turn into a mouse with you.
No, this is my strangely attractive mouse. Definitely can't change into anything else. Let's go, Kenna Mouse.
So you give them my name too?
No,
God!
they already know.
Let's go, Kenna Mouse.
Let's go,
I mean,
Kenna Mouse.
K-Mouse.
I will unshift at this point and be like, it's just a lot more comfortable to sit in here as a mouse than two people.
As we're like now boxed into the wall.
Yeah.
I understand your issues with your size. Now, Godspeed, Dis. Have a safe journey.
Thank you.
What do we call you?
I am the father.
Thank you, Father. Let's get the fuck out.
I obviously have to leave first.
Alright, so you guys head out. That little hallway you used to take in, that gnome that was there is gone.
Creepy gnome.
I want to look over, like as we leave, I want to look over at the other door
Mhm.
and see if there's any signs of that moving, like just look at the ground, see if there's like a dust trail or something. Or
Sure, do an investigation.
Can I help him?
Yeah, I mean, you're both there.
yeah, my investigation's also shit.
Intelligence. Should have brought in.
I'm pretty intelligent.
12. Actually, at first glance, it doesn't really... You're not even sure that door can open.
Try the door.
Yeah, definitely try the door.
Let's try the door.
Okay?
I tried the door.
You reach out. As you reach and go to grab the handle, your hand slips right through it. And the illusion broken. It's just a bare wall.
Oh, fuck.
We were played.
Obviously. Here, try the other door. Try to get back in that room.
I want to try the other door again.
You open the door. The little room is still there, but the little slat is closed now.
Where's the slat? Does it make
Yeah,
sense for it to be on the wall where the door...
It does.
Can we try to open the slat from the other?
Yeah, let's do that. I want to totally go back in.
Okay, you kind of crawl back in. The way that the slat is set up, so it's got kind of that usual confessional style where it's got the metal grating and then the slat is on the other side. So you'd have to like poke your fingers through and try to like kind of get enough traction.
Or I could be a mouse.
The slats aren't that big. They're these little. They're the little circular. They're only about as big as your pinky.
But my little mousy hand might fit in there a little nicer then.
It might fit in there nicer. I'm not sure how much strength
This
you'd
is
be able to
true.
put against it.
They love when we go on things on our...
Ken is just enjoying this because this
there
time
was
it's
fun.
her and Dis, not Nim and Dis.
No,
getting into
Dis and I have
shenanigans.
gotten into shenanigans.
Yeah, like
ramming a goat. Ramming
That's true.
people.
This is true.
That's true.
He's
One
the
of my
common
favorite moments.
denominator.
There does seem to be a certain
I would
common
argue that,
element to
but I
shenanigans.
can't.
So are you going to try to open the slot?
I want to. Yes, I want to try.
Maybe
Okay.
I'll try. I have lady fingers.
Sure. I want to try and then fail horribly because my fingers are probably too big. And then
Yeah.
go, oh, sorry.
And I'll try to back away and give Ken as much room as possible.
Okay. Kenna, do an athletics check with disadvantage because you can only use your fingertips. And obviously it's going to be fairly challenging.
Well, it rolled off. Not much better. That's what I rolled. So that's going to be a 10.
Okay. You get your fingertips in there, and you start rubbing them against the metal, trying to get it to slide a little bit. And it slides about 1/3 of an inch before you feel it catch on something. Perhaps a latch on the other side, you're not sure. But as it cracks just that tiny little bit, Kenna, is there something you wish to confess? Please, all secrets are free here.
This is like,
Alright.
I'm sorry, I'm just real curious about things. I'll leave now. Bye.
And the slot just slides closed again.
where is he?
I don't know.
He's in heaven.
So the hallway just leads there. Like, there's no other...
No. Hallway's a loose turn. It really
Yeah.
does look like a big movie air duct.
Okay, well,
Alright, let's get out of here.
let's crawl on out.
As you guys are heading out and you open that door back into the pub, the waitress is standing there. Y'all gonna have your food and drink now?
Of course.
Absolutely.
All right, we got you a table over here so you can leave Big Bob alone.
But he's free to eat with us.
I'll pass the invitation along.
All right,
Oh.
thank you. That'd be super appreciated.
Okay. The two of you sit down, begin eating your meal. For a moment, let us travel back to Nim, who has been working in his laundry shop. Nim, the back room that you've been working in for the last couple of hours, there's a soft on the door.
Nim just quietly, like, approaches the door. And then he'll, like, open it a crack.
When you open it a crack, sir, I didn't want to disrupt you, but there's a gentleman here who says he has an appointment with the owner.
History check?
Go ahead.
He's got a bit of guard.
Oh, yeah. That's a 27, so... If anyone...
You do not recall having an appointment today.
I'm like, name?
He didn't give a name. He sort of just, barged in and demanded to see you in a sort of raspily quiet voice.
It's a him?
I believe so. It's sort of hard to tell with the hood.
Oh, yeah, send him... You can send him back into my office?
Oh, all right, I'll do that then. Do you need a minute to prepare?
I look behind me in the state of affairs in the current back room.
Nim's actually pretty anal, so it's not too bad back there.
Okay.
It's fairly organized.
All right. I just... Usher.
In walks a gentleman that you're not too unfamiliar with, a certain someone that talked to you while you were in your most injured states.
Mm-hmm.
He walks in. I wanted to thank you for meeting me on such short notice. I apologize for not calling ahead.
It's all good.
I wanted to let you know that we are almost approaching the second month of our little deal. Are you ready to begin paying back your debt?
In what way?
Usually with money.
I mean, how much is the first payment?
We're willing to accept whatever payment you are capable of making. We understand times are tough.
All right. Is payment expected right now, or what's the...
If you have it on you, that would certainly please my superiors. But if you need a little time to gather it, that is understandable.
We don't even know how much we really get.
Yeah, I don't know how much I have at the moment.
Yep, that's fair. So if we did a rough calculation of where you are at.
So it's what, like 5 weeks into the business?
Yeah, give or take, because it did take you a little bit of time to set up. So we are probably looking at...
And I guess with Alex, it's been steadily increasing.
Increasing. I would say you're probably looking at about 600 gold right now.
That we were in from the start.
So far. Business is picking up steadily, so the amount will continue to grow.
All right.
Your first 2 weeks were much quieter being in the alley.
Okay. And I'm assuming I have some kind of, like, safe or something in the shop.
Actually, it's up to you how you guys have been storing your money. Kenna's been talking about having the pouch on her most of the time, and she just left it behind when she went to the Thieves Guild, so you guys haven't really talked about how you're storing your kit and your money.
I'm still slightly against having everything in one bin again.
All right.
Alex still gives me flashbacks.
What do you mean?
Alex was like an NPC that was playing along with our party in the beginning, earlier on, and he was carrying our bag of holding, and then at some point he fucked off.
He was Silver's manservant.
Yeah, and he turned out to be evil.
Patsy.
Yep.
Silver Bay?
Silver was a noble, so he had a servant.
It was one of the features of the background.
Okay. Well, I would probably keep a decent amount of money in the shop, I'm thinking, and then I would distribute the rest throughout the party, I'm guessing.
Okay.
So we're not doing the bank anymore?
Well, more, we just need to set up an actual bank.
Yeah.
I mean, the market does have a bank.
So,
Now,
At this point, though, like, up until this point, we haven't discussed otherwise, so I think Kenna would be holding it.
Other than the fact that you said you left it behind when you went to the Thieves Guild. So where did you put it?
It would be in the shop.
Okay. And
So
did you let Nim know where it was?
I would have, yeah.
Okay. She stuffed it behind the back counter.
okay.
Just, like, almost 1,000 gold in there.
Okay, well, just based on what we've made and not wanting to dip into our gold profits of adventuring, I'll offer him 400 gold for right now. See how he accepts that. Just be like, oh, on such short notice, this is all I can muster.
That amount will be sufficient to begin your down payment.
alright. All of us keep our own history of what we paid into this.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I have also been told to pass along the information that should you seek to lower your debt via other means, I have been given authorization to give you certain tasks that it is believed you could complete.
Well, this is... Now we're in the Skinner part of things.
Alright, this is kind of what I was wondering with the repayment, so what sort of tasks?
Very well. Honestly speaking, do you believe that in your current predicament, you are capable of taking on a difficult task? Or would you prefer a easy beginner type task? Obviously, with the money amount, they're worth varying.
We've kind of got a lot on the go, so I think probably we'll start with like an easier task and just see how your rating system works.
Very well. I have just the thing. A client of ours has come to us with a certain belief that he may soon be under attack.
I knew this was going.
Oh god.
We would like to hire you to act as additional security for his property for a few weeks. Simple work. Keep him safe. Protect the things he asks to be protected. Should these several weeks pass without incident, it will be believed that your guardship was sufficient, and we will remove another 500 gold from your total. It seems like a good deal, really.
A few weeks.
I'm afraid I will need an answer now, as I will be traveling back to his estate immediately.
I mean, yeah, it sounds reasonable enough. Whereabouts is this estate, and is there any identifying ways we can find it, or how do I...
I can give you the address. When you arrive, say that you are a member of the Mercenary Guard, and you have come to protect Sir Wallace.
Mercenary Guard?
That is correct. That is the pseudonym we use.
we have to mention Sir Wallace's name?
That is who you've come to see, so yes.
Okay.
I hope this deal goes well for you, Nim. I imagine that our organization could be quite friendly to you, should this first job go well.
Suddenly we're Ocean's 11 now.
What's the address to the...
Yeah, what's the address?
Let me write it down for you. And he provides you with an address.
Okay.
The market rung, you guys have gotten fairly accustomed to how the address system works there. You've been around quite a bit, so...
I guess it's northwest of the crater.
Give or take.
Fuck sakes. Ocean's 11. I already have a plan, but I don't know that I have a plan because that's metagaming.
Is there anything else? If not, I will be on my way.
So if we complete this task, does this cover next month's payment then?
Correct.
Okay. Alright, well I'll have to confer with my, comrades to make sure that we're all good with that, but...
Very well. One more thing, Nim. The individual you go to meet, though wealthy, is not the nicest person I've ever met. I would recommend treading carefully.
So let Lazarus do the talking? Got it.
If you believe that is best.
Some people have told me I'm a little abrasive, so...
I hadn't really noticed.
Oh, that's good.
2 complete oblivious right there.
Very well. I will be on my way. Oh, and also I need order 255 back.
Let me guess, it's just like a set of robes.
It's just like some gray generic robes.
Everybody's using them seriously.
I told you, you guys basically have a monopoly on laundry right now.
Nim's like, did you want these scented? I don't know if we've had the scenting service in a day or so, so...
I'm afraid they'd all smell like soot in a matter of minutes anyway.
Alright.
He takes them from you, pays Alex on his way out, and leaves.
Larry said he's paying too.
Service is service.
All right, Lazarus. I would imagine at this time of day you've probably been working at the church. And I'm sorry to say things have been rather uneventful for you so far this morning.
Mm-hmm.
As boring as that may be, perhaps it's best that you haven't gotten your own separate proposition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm fine with this.
So, you guys have had more than enough time to eat your food. Is there anything else anybody wants to get accomplished, or are you kind of meeting back up together now?
Big Bill, Big Bob, whatever his name was, didn't come join us.
I'm afraid not.
Dang.
Damn.
You did get to
We
witness
did
an
gamble.
interesting spectacle, though, if you'd been paying particular attention to Big Bob.
I would have.
I think we both would have.
Okay. He did get into a go fish game with somebody.
What is this? This is some bullshit.
You noticed the individual come in with his head held high and leave about 20 minutes later with his head down low and missing a shirt.
Man, Big Bob knows how to gamble.
I didn't know we could bet shirts.
It was a very nice
Are you
shirt.
wearing your shirt?
And it must have fit.
I am, but it's not very
Yes,
nice.
sir.
Especially after going through my sleuthing.
I feel like probably, well, depending on the timelines at this point, Nim would probably just call everyone on the ring.
Go ahead. You guys are probably just finishing up your meal.
So it'd be like, Kenna, Lazarus, hey guys, just meet me back at the shop when you, at your earliest convenience. Thank you. That's the message.
Okay. Does anybody reply immediately?
Oh well. Nim. On the way. Me and Ken are on our way.
Am I like mid-lifting something?
What did you have?
No, you were probably taking a brief breather while they were setting up the next
I'm
level.
not coming.
I don't know. I'll just probably just courtesy back, saying I'll come back when I can.
Okay. We can easily fast forward ahead a little bit unless anybody has anything specific they wanted to do before they get a chance to come back together and talk.
Is Little
I think
Master tapping you?
Not yet, though you have heard through your guard connections that Lil is supposed to be back next week.
What's her tavern been like since I've been down there in the farming ground?
The two, like the one bus boy and the one bus girl, have been basically running it while she's been gone. They seem accustomed to being doing that activity, so overall the tavern's been running fine.
Information dispersal time. Skill.
Okay. You guys group back up together, maybe in the laundry at the close of day, tucked into the back room for some measure of secrecy. Unless there's more secrecy you want to have.
Can we break anything?
Yeah. What are we at? It's only been about 45 minutes, but we can break a little early for this one. Sure. All right, we will come right back. Wow, what a cliffhanger. I wonder what's going to happen next time. Seriously, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. If you liked what you heard, share us with your friends. If you hated what you heard, share us with your enemies. Seriously, though, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll find out what happens to Doubles and Dragons next time.